Hi, welcome to Rick Snider's Washington on YouTube, where you get the whole story. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. All right, thought I'd tell a story about one of the most famous couples in town, the love story of the ages, Camelot itself, John F. Kennedy and Jackie Bouvier, who became Jackie Kennedy. And if you ever thought, can I see these places? Yeah, you actually can. Including one, if you wondered, what it would be like to sit in the same spot when John F. Kennedy popped the question to Jackie. You can. It's called the proposal booth, number 3, at Martin's Tavern, right there in Georgetown. There it is. You can sit there. I've had dinner there. Didn't ask my wife to marry me there. But it's one of those places where people still propose. So it's kind of cool. Martin's Tavern's right there on N Street and Wisconsin Avenue on the corner. One of the great kind of local places that the tourists are down on M Street. They don't come up there, and it's more locals. And you'll see a lot of famous people eating there. A lot of presidents have eaten there. But John Kennedy lived in the neighborhood, so this was the place that he often ate. Sunday morning after Mass, he'd walk down from Holy Trinity, takes 5-10 minutes, walk over to Martin's, and he would sit in booth 1, which was a half booth, didn't have a bench on the other side. I guess they shoehorned that thing in. Kennedy loved it because he could read in peace and nobody'd slide across the booth from him and want to talk to him. So he liked that a lot. But, hey, when he has Jackie, he has to move down to, and he goes to the proposal booth on number 3. So, hey, you can still see that. The Kennedys, it's amazing to me how the young people today, when I take them out on tour, know nothing about John F. Kennedy. It's just another name in the history book to them. It's like, I tell them when you go home, ask your grandparents where they were when Kennedy died. They'll know. I remember, I was a real little kid, but I remember a little bit about this. But nowadays I take them to the Eternal Flame and all, and they're just like, it could be Rutherford B. Hayes to them. So weird. But man, those who remember, this was the couple, the beautiful young ones. She was 24, he was 36 when they married. And 10 years later, they would be in the White House together. And he did propose to her on June 24th, so the anniversary's coming up, 1953, and they actually married that September, just 3 months later, over in Newport, so it wasn't around here. But Kennedy did go to church here a lot. The last place he went to before he was killed was Holy Trinity, which is just basically a block down from Georgetown University. And Kennedy went there quite often. Matter of fact, here's a picture I have of the two of them coming out. The church. Those kids today, this is like early 1960s. Those kids today are in their 70s. Yeah, that makes you feel old. But there's Jackie. Back then, if you were in a Catholic church, you had to wear one of these if you were a woman on there. He's wearing a suit and tie. Standards were a lot different back then. And of course, they were the beautiful couple. So here she is getting him ready for some big ball that they're going to at the time. They were the young, fun couple here. Matter of fact, I have a weird picture. This is Jackie Kennedy at Georgetown. She actually studied at Georgetown just for a class or two on American history because she was married. She now didn't have to work, and she didn't have children yet. And so what we do your time, John said, why don't you go over to the university and study some? Because Jackie had a college degree, and she liked to study. So, yeah. Here's an interesting picture to me. This is going to the inaugural night before, going to a big party before John Kennedy is sworn in January 1961. Big snowstorm the night before. It dropped 7 inches. And by the way, this guy right here, I guess he's a Secret Service agent. Doesn't this look like the younger George Bush? Sure does to me. Anyway, it snowed 7 inches. So on Inauguration Day, you'd think, well, they're not going to have the parade or anything. John Kennedy got the National Guard to use flamethrowers down Pennsylvania Avenue to melt the snow. No way that happens today. But they did. It's pretty amazing. I actually found their house. The last house is on N Street, not far from Martin's Tavern. And here's a picture of it. And here's Lyndon B. Johnson. I've told the story before about how RFK was really a snub to LBJ, who wanted the stadium named after him. Another story on YouTube. Go look for it. But these two aren't particularly friends. But the window's still there. It still has all this here. I give tours in front of the house, and the owners just kind of look at me like I'm nuts, but I try to respect their privacy and move on in a few minutes. So the Kennedys in Georgetown, when I do a tour, we stop at about a dozen places on there, and it's a lot of fun to just see them. But hey, if you just want to go eat lunch or dinner, go over to Martin's Tavern. It's a great place. 4th generation Billy Martin family. Man, they have some awesome food there. I happen to like the shepherd's pie. Every time I look at it, I go, it's not that big. And yeah, I can't eat it all. You know, there are lots of beers there if you're into that. You know, it's just a good local joint with famous people in it because that's where the famous people live. You know, I saw Robert Mueller coming out one day. I was like, oh, I know who that is. So they're really nice folks, and it's a great place to eat. And they have outdoor dining too. So if you want to go do that. Anyway, just kind of remembering the day of Camelot and how you can go be part of it even today. I'm Rick Snider from Rick Snider's Washington. Thanks for coming. I'll see you soon.